We live?
Yes, we're live now.
All right. I didn't put this in the agenda when we talked about the gentleman that you sent out with the $1 million plan. It's actually called I think he's calling it the $1 million cup of coffee. So I guess I'll start with that, and then we could share it and then talk about it in next week. Um, if you don't have any objections, I think that would be kind of awesome. Um, the other thing is we've been talking about it, but let's talk about it. We've been kind of talking about who's hot, and I wanted to think of a way to say it and keep it trendy, keep it fun, and do it in the beginning of the session. Um, so like that, people have to jump on early to hear the who's not and who's not. So I wish I had a little bubble right here, and it'll pop up and it'll say who's not and who's what did I just call it? Who's hot and who's not. Those are my notes from last week. I wanted to. So last week, a lot has happened. I'm gonna just spitfire a few of these and stop me where you can. I'll start with Anna. Anna mentioned one last week. I think it was Anna. Correct me if I'm wrong. You mentioned was AMP. Is that correct?
Will mention AMP.
Oh, it was okay. Somebody else
Yeah,
mentioned.
actually, I did AMP.
Excellent,
Sorry.
excellent. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I definitely want to add that this week has been. Let me just sum up real quick. This week, I don't watch the market every day, but a lot has been down. And as we talk on the channel, when it's down, if you loved it when it was up, you should really love it when it's down, because that's an opportunity to get more of it. If we're not here to excuse me, to gamble. And most of us here are not trading, we are investing. Most of us are doing this for the long term. At least I am doing it for the 5 to 10 to 15-year plan. Um, Late last session, we kind of joked about, you know, being okay with being, grandpa millionaire. If I can't do anything with it, I'm okay with that. If my kids can't do anything with it, I'm okay with that too. And if their kids can do something with it, again, I'm okay with being grandpa millionaire. I'm cool with that. So this is, the literal definition of, generational wealth. You have to start it in one generation. So without further ado, AMP, I really like it now that it went down almost 30%. I think it went down 33 in the last 7 days. So the technology, anything, and I've mentioned this in the past, anything that bridges, this is using smart contracts. So anything that's bridging, um, whether it's finance, whether it's applications, kind of like Ethereum, whether smart contracts, kind of like Cardano. Anytime you have anything that's bridging platforms or money, money meaning XRP, Stella, these are all transactional systems and coins that use systems. I think it's a good idea. The only thing is that there has to be tons of marketing. It's not just about the white papers. The white papers is to impress the investors and impress us. There has to be other marketing associated with it, like Cardano. I see a lot going on in Africa, and there's going to be a lot of heavy lifting in Africa because there are tons of underdeveloped countries rather, that are starting to start moving money around. So when you start moving money around, then there's an opportunity to make money. So I do like it. And again, in the segment which I'm calling uh, "Who's Hot and Who's Not," definitely AMP is hot. I definitely like AMP. I'm gonna spitfire some of these ups and downs for the week, and I'll go with some of my obviously personal favorites and other ones that we've talked about often, and I'll just give you kind of a rundown where they are. In the last 7 days, the market has gone anywhere between five and I think the highest that's been on our call list, I believe now is AMP at 33, at down 33%, which is a good penny coin, I guess. So I'll start from the top down. So we got XRP at 64 cents, Dodge at 26, Ethereum at 2,000. That says a lot. It just dipped under 2K. It still might be under 2K the last I checked. That is a great, great buy for me. I'm definitely going to jump on it. Again, this is all for fun. This is all informational. I'm not an advisor. We're not advisors, but I think it's a great opportunity because so much is going to be done with smart contracts. A little bit with NFTs. I see the talk of NFTs kind of dipping down a little bit, but it's still a great buy because it's the number two. Um, Bitcoin is still number one as far as market share or market cap rather. So it's a great buy that it dipped under. I just mentioned Cardano, ADA. I wrote it up to 180 something. It's at 133 right now. I think I bought it at 121. So that is a great buy. Polkadot. I think Coach mentioned Polkadot before. He asked me what I thought of it, and again, it's one of those bridging systems. Actually, no, that might be web. Might be a web system. But I definitely love it. I loved it at 25. I'm really loving it at 16. Matic, another one. Matic is down at 110. And I think when I started looking at it, I think it might have been don't quote me on it, but I think it was at 225 or something like that. So again, if I love Matic at 225, I really love it at 210, at 110. The other one is one of my favorites, Vet. Coach's joke on Vet is, if you're going to get a dog, you need a vet. So he'll be here all week. So,
Vet, Coach is corny.
Say again?
Coach is corny.
That's right. So I'm a huge fan of Vet. I saw Vet go from 1 penny. I wrote it up to I think 5, and then it just went crazy. And I didn't have enough. I didn't have a lot. It went crazy. It went to like 11. Might have gone a little higher than that. But quick story on Vet. It was one of the first coins. I think I put it on the board at one point. No, I must have erased it. But it was one of the coins that I saw, and I love the technology. I'll give you just a quick synopsis. It has to do with barcodes and scanning and all things internet. The idea with Vet is that, and it's China, by the way, so that's another reason why it's probably dipped a whole lot, because of their anti-crypting laws that are anti-crypto mining laws and no Bitcoin. But what Vet is going to do is always doing is documenting anything that has a barcode and adding it into the blockchain. So from an apple or a can of soda in the supply chain, once you scan this, it's going to live all the way across the supply chain from wholesaler to retail to end of life, and probably through the recycling process. You're going to continue to scan that code, and it's going to know you can probably figure out the value or how many times this has been recycled, because every time you recycle it, you're scanning a coin. So, if they recycle it, and I don't know what they do, if they crush it and resurface it, I don't know but you'll be able to document that through anything that has a barcode. Last but not least, Tron. Vet runs off the Tron network or the Tron system, and Tron is also down a little bit, but it's holding at 6 cents. It was another one that's kind of like fluctuated between 1 and I think like 11 cents, and then it went down a little bit. So I think it's holding strong. If anybody has any other coins, I list those because those are kind of like the other one. Sorry, Stella. Stella's at 25 cents. I rode that one up to like 70 cents. And it's a great buy at 13 cents. So they're doing some big heavy lifting also in Africa at one point soon. I think that already started. Samsung has been involved with them, and I always like to throw that out. It's one of the first coins that I said I hold a lot of Stella, and it was one of the first coins that I said, no, this is going to do something big, and it's definitely at the top 25. Coach likes to talk about the top 25. Stella's at the top 25. Actually, all of these that I mentioned are at the top 25. So that is my little segment of who's hot and who's not. I don't really have too many of who's not right now because everybody's kind of low. I just wanted to highlight who's really gone down enough to say, hey, this is important. Jump on it now because it's going to grow. So any questions? Anybody want to add anything to this, to like this list? I'd love to keep this who's hot and who's not list as a segment. And if we had any sponsors, this is the time when I'd say, thanks to our sponsors.
Yeah. I'll be a sponsor soon enough.
Yeah, likewise. I have to get involved with that, and I have to make a trip to Florida. So this ad may be sponsored by Bronx Photo.
Yes, sir. I came today from a fundraiser, decent fundraiser, a little slower than the norm, but still had a good time at the fundraiser, because anytime that you're getting assistance is always a good time. One hand always washes the other. So, and I have the patience definitely to sit there for hours and let every little bit add up to a lot. So I mention that because the stock market is similar. It's same kind of concept. Just invest, hold, and wait. And you just mentioned about crypto, some of the cryptos that are have been watching this week, and some of those, like you said, they went down, but you have to also take a look at certain coins too that actually move better than some coins. I know Bitcoin is usually leading the way, but some of the coins kind of sometimes move on their own as well. I noticed Dogecoin kind of move a little different. All the coins, I mean, they kind of move a little different. They kind of follow Bitcoin, but they, one or two or three or four kind of move a little different sometimes. You like to mention ADA, Cardano. I think Cardano is one that stands out and kind of move a little different. I've seen Cardano go from, say 130 and come close to hitting 2, and then it'll drop back down to, 130. So kind of move a little different. And again, it depends on what kind of money, you're putting down. Let's say you put $500 in Cardano, you could almost double that money, and it's not moving the same way Bitcoin's moving, even though it's kind of following. Sometimes it takes its own little turn, does its own thing. So gotta pay attention to that. I don't know if you've been paying attention to it, Hector, to see how different.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. While you were talking, I was just looking at some numbers. So quantity wise and volume, the last 24 hours, and this is usually once you see those 24-hour numbers, you will definitely see a correlation. Most coins, not most coins, important coins that hit the mainstream, there will be a correlation with Bitcoin, absolutely. But the two you mentioned, you mentioned three. So 3 out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mentioned 1. You mentioned 3. So 4 out of the 7 had remarkable numbers in a 24-hour period. So we're talking about Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano. You mentioned Doge, and I mentioned XRP. So they've had ridiculous numbers. So if you're in, and when I say ridiculous numbers, we're talking about 24-hour, the last 24 hours, which is usually slow on the weekend. We still are looking at 20 billion, 35 billion, 53 billion. Binance is up there at 3 billion. Cardano's at 2 billion. XRP's at 2.3. Dogecoin is 2.2. So what that says to us is there's a lot of people that are playing position. They're playing swing. So they're going up and down with it. And you're going to see those charts, moving often. So for anybody that does have not Ed, the names, man, I'm not that old, man. What is happening here? Alan, thank you. I'm looking at the A and I'm like, I know it's with an A. So Alan has mentioned in the past taking positions. I started taking positions before, and then I started sitting on coin and started doing what Coach talks about. It's like, hey, put $5 in, put $10 in. Hey, you don't, put this lunch money. Today I didn't eat or whatever. Like I was too busy to eat, so I'm putting in that $10 in. Right, that's constant investing. Some people like to swing, and I don't have the stomach for it. I've been saying like I got to get my little money together and then swing with it. But these numbers, they're moving. So people are definitely taking positions and definitely moving. And not to be greedy, but it's 1 to 3% is a good day in the market. So if you have 10, let's just use a round number. The number, it's I'm trying to manifest that number. So if you take 10,000 and you're looking at 1 to 3% on 10,000, that's $100 to $300 a day. That's you're almost 300 plus. That's six figures. You're really cranking out some without taking any time off, obviously, but that's percentages and it's compounding because the first time you make your 10% on 10K, you're at 10,300. So it compounds. The next time you make a deal that works between 1 and 3%, then that 10K goes up. Obviously, you're putting it in not all in one coin, but you may taking positions on, let's say Ethereum, you only need Ethereum to go up 3%. I'm sorry, 0.5%. Then I'm just going off numbers here. I see Bitcoin is down the last 7 days for 2.31%. So that means that I just needed to go up. I just want 1% on Bitcoin. So I'm already at a percent and a half. Then I'm looking at Cardano. Cardano's down 5.72%. I just need Cardano to go 1%. So now I'm at 3%. I just made my 3%. So when the market is down, for some people, this is like it's go time. And not I'm gonna take on position. I have a little bit of stash, and I'm gonna start, not start. That I'm gonna take advantage of this. And I wasn't even looking for it to go down this much, but it's down. So it's on sale. I think JP said that before, right? Like coach, you said it also. It's I call it on the rack. So it's on the rack. Oh no, you said clearance. I think is what you said.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, we're gonna get into some stocks too. We definitely talk a lot, on crypto. That's your expertise. I've been investing in a lot of stocks, so I do the crypto and the stocks as well, but we won't get into the stocks just yet. We'll stay with the crypto. I just wanted to make mention that we'll speak on some stocks as well, because I've been following some stocks that I've been holding for a while that I started recently, swinging a little bit more by opening different accounts just to swing them because I have a good amount and that I could sit on, for a 5 to 15 year plan. And now I can work my magic and make some money, daily or weekly, So to speak to what you were talking about, the crypto or even stocks, but we're on crypto going down, dipping. There's a reason, for the dip. And when it dipped, that's where you definitely want to buy more and more and more, you know. And they say where people are fearful be greedy. So right now, crypto is down and it's a perfect time to get it, when no one is actually thinking about it. Everyone mindset is on green. People like the majority of people like to buy things when it's green, And when I speak to anyone off YouTube and I'm addressing them about investing in the stock market, I try to explain to them, about the stock market and what they should expect and, from people when people are telling them about the stock market. And I always say, imagine you're driving your car and, you're driving on the road and the light's green. Nobody likes when the light turn red. As soon as the light turn red, everybody's like, man, I got to stop. I got to hit my brakes. And everybody just like, man, I want to go. I need to go, So it's human. That's how we are. We always on the go. We don't really have enough patience, and for those of us who do have the patience, that's great. But green, look at green light, you want to go. When the light turns red, you don't really want to stop. And as soon as you stop, you have this impatience for the light to turn back green so you can get on your way. And that's what I equal the stock market to. It's like you have to sit at the light and you got to be patient. You don't want to run off to your death. And what do I mean by that? If you're at a four-way traffic, you don't want to be speeding out there and the person behind you beeping so you can be the first one out there to go get hit from someone running a red light or something, So patience is key. You know, it definitely makes you think before you act. So me personally, never try to rush off from a red light. Always try to take my time, make sure I look 4 ways before I even go. And I'm not trying to die just now, or just yet. You know, so as I said, stock market, most people want to see crypto going up since we're on crypto. But when I look at crypto going down, that's when I actually love it. You know, you speak of if you gotta love it when it's up, you gotta love it when it's down. Well, I love it when it's down more than when it's up because
Yeah.
I can afford it. You know, so I can really afford more. You know, when I look at I already have Dogecoin, you know, quite a few of it. And when I look at Dogecoin in another account, and I'm saying to myself, wow, it's at these numbers, it just makes me it's fun to me to look at it to see how much I can get at its lowest. So it's laughable, to be honest. Sometimes I look at XRP and to where XRP was and to where it's at right now, it's laughable, you know, because even though I have quite a good amount of XRP, when I look at it moving up, I still want to buy because the more of it you have, the more chance you have of making more money. You know, so when it's high, I am still guilty of trying to buy because I'm always trying to get more and more and more, you know, of that coin, you know, more and more of shares. I'm always trying to get more, you know. So when it's higher, I know it's more expensive, you know, less shares that you could buy. But when it drops, man, you're like it's like a Christmas tree. You light up because you put in $100 and you can have 100 shares, or you put in $100 and you get 200 shares. I like the sound of that. You know, I like the sound of that. So that's kind of like how we have to look at it. You know, we have to buy things when they're dipping on us and have patience. We can't be always rushing and beeping and running ahead. You know, so I pay full attention to things like that, and that helps me a lot to invest well. You know, just wanted to share that. Can't hear you. You're muted.
Yeah, there we go.
No.
Just chiming in on stocks. And sorry, before I go into that, I just to underline that, coach, if you like you said, if you love it at a price, you should definitely love it at when it goes down. It's always an opportunity, and both of us have XRP. XRP being at where it is now gives us another round of investment, right? So, investment. When a company goes IPO, they have like these seed rounds, and to me, this is like an additional seed round. So I get another go at it. I wrote it from I think 17 cents and up, or 20 cents, something like that. Stella and XRP, I kind of got around the same time. And, I was going nuts when it was cracking $1. And it's another opportunity now to get it at 30% discount, let's say, and wait on it. I really believe in the technology. I believe in its influence. They went against the SEC. I think when I met you, coach, that was a talk of the town. We were both kind of waiting to find out what's going to happen. So I'm excited. I'm excited that I have, even if I just got $300-400, I'll grab some. I'll scoop up some more. I when I started my my photo studio, I pulled some money out of Chainlink and I pulled some money out of XRP, and it hurt me. But I needed money and I didn't want to put any more, incur any credit card debt. So I pulled some coin money out, and then it went up, and I was like, but hold on for dear life. That's the goal. We gotta get some shirts. We gotta get some shirts printed. HODL. Hold on for dear life. With a little we'll talk offline on that. We'll do something. We'll do something
Um,
since yeah, let's get these shirts up, because that's really what all of this is about, investment. Um so just transitioning into stocks. I don't know the reason, but I did write it down to get some notes on this during the week for next week. Nike had an amazing end of the week. It closed Friday, or not Friday, but it shot up, in about a 2 week period. So I don't know if it was their earnings were on their way out, but it definitely made some noise. It made some noise on NBC, CNBC, SNBC. It made some noise on two people that I follow. They're the entrepreneur, Instagrammers, stock people. Um, that they both mentioned them. So I again I didn't have the time to jump on and really dive in deep to why, but it did. Let me see if I can pull up the stats now. And I didn't look into it. I didn't make the time to it. But yeah, it was something about, well, alone today is 16% almost. So it's 1553 just today. So on the last 24 hours. So in the last month, as of June 24, there was a spike. So June 24 is at 133. And then today it's sitting at 154. So if you look at early June or mid June, or we can do yeah, I mean it had a couple of hits during the pandemic, kind of up and down a little bit, but looking at the 52-week low, it was at $93, and now it's at 154. So those are for a stock, um, those are some big heavy numbers. I mean, the last 5 days, like I said, it's 19%. Or the last 24 hours is 15%. The last 5 days is nearly 20%, and the last so it's taking a little bit of a big jump. So I think the news has something to do with their earnings, and I mean you could easily look that up, but I'll kind of go over it next week. And I'm also transitioning into just considering more stocks. There's a lot of Coach mentioned this before, and I believe Alan mentioned this before. There's a lot of stocks that are related to what's been happening. The Home Depots, the Zooms, the Modernas. A lot of those stocks, and also now in infrastructure, you're going to probably see a lot of movement. If the chip shortage is going to create some big moves for tech. Also, Biden has been talking about he doesn't want to see this chip shortage ever again. So how do we get these companies to build in the U.S.? So that's going to be a conversation, and that's an infrastructure conversation. That's important because it affects so many things. When I just bought a new truck, well, cars are were hit with the chip shortage. Especially newer cars. My car's an old car, but it was still hit because it's a third row truck. So because of the economy, because of the pandemic, there wasn't a lot of haggle room because somebody's going to buy it. So it wasn't, I couldn't really do too much. These things were flying off the shelves. So now I think it's a really important time for me, as well as everybody listening, to start thinking about what budget you have, or push a little over your means if you can, to start investing in things that are going to start really ramping up as the world opens up again, and as we continue to fight the pandemic. Some places are still hurting. India is still hurting. UK is still on the second wave, and there's just a lot going on. So we should be, I think we should be a little aggressive on investing. At least I will be. I'm adding Nike. Does anybody have any? I know Anna mentioned AMP, and I, like I said earlier, I like anything that's a bridge between either smart contracts or anything with in financial, and that's definitely one of them. That's I believe it creates some sort of security for transactions, if I'm not mistaken. But I just looked at the raw numbers. I wasn't really looking at the white papers. But we should definitely bring those up and cover them if we can in the newly forming who's hot and who's not type of situation. There was a stock that I looked at. I think it's IEC or something like that. It has to do with what I just mentioned, chipsets. Um, that might be something to look at in the next few months, and definitely is during when the government starts to really rule on, what does infrastructure mean, and if they're going to get caught, as they say, with their pants down with the chip shortage, how are they going to develop? How are they going to start making changes? I think that's really important to see.
Whenever you get a second, Hector, I have a question in regards to a stock. This may be for Savan if he's
Mhm.
listening. So I know he had mentioned in the WhatsApp about a stock by the name of MARA. Is it Mara? Was that the one in the WhatsApp? I think it was.
And I'm here. Yeah, I mentioned there is a relation between. You hearing me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Yeah, there's a relation between marathon patent and crypto, preferably Bitcoin mining.
Okay, so let me ask you something, because I went to Robinhood. I tried to find it in Coinbase. I couldn't find it in Coinbase, but I tried it on Robinhood. But when I'm trying to buy like $100 worth of stock that I can get for that, it's telling me that I don't have enough. So how does that work exactly? Because I didn't have that issue before with any other stock.
Okay, not sure that I understand the last thing of what you said, but I'll ask you.
Okay, when you go to Robinhood and I type in MARE, and it asks me basically how many shares do I want? Do I want $10, $20? So I put 100, but then it keeps popping up an error saying that I don't have enough for that stake. So am I doing it in the wrong app, or where are you buying it through?
All right, so to explain it, you mentioned Coinbase for Mara, and you also mentioned Robinhood for Mara. Mara
Right.
is not. It's not a crypto. It's a stock.
It's a stock. And what about Robinhood?
So that's where you're gonna find it. You'll find it in Robinhood. You're not gonna find it in Coinbase because Coinbase is for cryptocurrencies, and Mara is mining currencies. So it's a mining company. So you'll find it as a stock. Okay.
Is there a specific amount that I have to put in it? Because I tried to do it with $100 and it's telling me that I don't have enough to stake a claim. So I don't know if it's just my phone doing that, because my phone been acting up, but I don't know if you guys are having issues with it too, because I really tried to check it out, but it wouldn't let me buy.
No, well,
I'm gonna try it again.
Well, sounds to me like, do you have enough buying power?
That's what it was saying, buying power. I'm not sure what is that.
Yeah, that's exactly it. You hit it, coach. That was it.
Well, how does that work?
Okay, so basically, when you go into Robinhood or any place you can buy your stocks, if you don't have the money readily available to purchase it, it's going to tell you that you can't purchase that stock. So basically, in order for you to, let's just say you didn't send money from your bank account and you wanted to buy a stock, you would have to sell a stock that you have on Robinhood or any platform that you have a stock. But let's use Robinhood. You would have to sell a stock in order to make that money available by selling it. Now it becomes available in your buying power.
So I can't use it directly from my debit card, because actually not my debit card, my bank account is tied to it.
Yeah, well,
and it was telling me the same thing.
What's happening is Robinhood is probably taking a couple of days for it to clear, so it's not going.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
You
I know
won't
now.
be able to buy it until the next day or so.
Okay. All right, that's what I wanted to know.
Yeah, that's the problem. But before you go, Hector, just remember, certain things are cryptos and certain things are stocks. Marathon Patent are digital now. It changed the name from Marathon Patent to Marathon Digital. It's a stock.
Okay, gotcha. I'm gonna write this down.
And just to sum up the buying power, um, it won't pull directly from your account. So you have to actually send money into your account. Some coins call it, or some platforms will call it, for crypto to be like your wallet, or you can buy directly through. So there's different platforms. I know that I have $95 of buying power right now in Robinhood. So if I get rid of all my Bitcoin, I think I have like 1,700 of Bitcoin. I will have that extra in buying power. Then I can purchase whatever I want. But currently, I can only purchase about $95. So using your $100 as an example, it'll give me another error saying I don't have enough to purchase X amount of shares, and then I can only purchase up to $95. Yeah, these are great questions because they're practical. Some when people are like rushing to go buy something and it doesn't work, you want to know exactly why. And you're not going to find customer support in Robinhood readily available, unfortunately.
Okay, got it. Thank you guys.
Yeah, no
Sure
problem.
thing. Thanks.
And to add a little bit about just buying stocks that maybe you heard about or crypto that you hear it's gonna move. You always want to try your best to have some money available in your account to make sure that you can buy something that maybe you get news that it's gonna move. And what I like to do is I don't really like to leave money in my buying power. So I'm actually contradicting myself here to where I'm telling you leave some money in your buying power. Me personally, I like to I do it very well. I may have using this as example, I may have $100 in say Moderna on Robinhood. And I already know that I have Moderna in my brokerage account, with Wells Fargo. So me holding $100 in Moderna, I'm holding it there so that I don't keep it in my buying power to where I'm not gaining nothing in my buying power. So I put it in a stock that I feel is going to grow. So if I feel like Moderna is going to grow this week, I may take whatever is in my buying power and put it in that stock just so it could gain. So my $100 may turn to $120. But guess what? It's $20 that I gained within a couple of days or within that week, um, rather than keep it in my buying power and gaining nothing on it. So that's my strategy. Again, it's contradicting what I'm telling you, but it's just my strategy because what I do is if I feel like there's a new stock that I heard about and it's about to do something, I'm going to sell Moderna because my money been sitting in there. And once I sell Moderna, my money is readily available in my buying power for me to buy if Marathon Patent, which is now Marathon Digital, was going to make a move or got news that it was going to make a move. I can sell and buy, which I don't do quite often, because I don't jump ship a lot. I like to stick to what I buy, and a lot of times I do research and know what's going to happen. And I do a great job with TD Ameritrade to where I never have buying power, but I always seem to catch a stop at its low that may run up. And what do? I do my research, like for instance, tomorrow is Monday. What I'll do is I'll go into Monday knowing that I'm about to send $100. That $100 is going to be readily available for me to invest in something. If I wanted to invest in something Monday morning, I may send money Friday. Friday is going to allow, sending it Friday is going to allow me to now invest on Monday. So I'm always sending extra money on a daily basis to prepare for the next day. It's either I'm going to buy a new stock that I know is going to run up, or I'm going to add to my position that I already hold. And that's the way I operate, to where I always can be readily available to buy something because I'm thinking about it the day before always making, always sending money to be available to buy something the next day. So Anna, maybe you should try something like that, to where you send money and it's readily available, to buy something the next day.
I'm
And
definitely going to look into the TD Ameritrade. I'm going to start looking into that.
yeah, I love TD Ameritrade, Anna, because it gives you an opportunity to buy a lot of stocks that you know a lot of people is not paying attention to, and I'm a firm believer in what's not being talked about, you better watch out for it, later on. Anything that's being advertised all the time, I just don't, I think it's already ran up, so I always want to get in on what's to come, not what's there already, you know. And of course, you could make money on what's there already, but I feel like those are real long-term plans. But a lot of the stocks that I look at, they could run up overnight. You just don't know when. You can't put your finger on it. It reminds me of crypto. You could be sitting there holding crypto, and it's like you never know when it's gonna move. You know, you never know. You really never know. Same thing with stocks, but you just never know. And Hector, why don't we jump into investing the $5 a day our weekly. Just letting people know the importance of investing every day or every week.
Yeah. Is my sound back?
Yeah.
Sorry, I was tinkering a little bit. Look at, I'm getting fancy with the founding players. Check that
No.
out. It's looking good. Did I come up? I hope so. So the having any budget is better than none. So there's something where I guess we'll circulate. We can send it out to the group. And it's basically just financial planning and thinking of a 20 to 30-year plan. And the what we're I guess what coach is gonna circulate later is just a plan um to making some movements in any market. In this particular case, it's usually most people will talk about the S&P 500 and basically investing money that the banks won't for you, or the banks are investing your money. So if you look at your percentages on any money that you put in the bank, you're going to get 0.01%, but they're making a hell of a lot of money with your money. So going into anything that you consider investing, whether we're talking about crypto, whether we're talking about stocks, whether it's your 401k and getting really aggressive with it, whether it's EFTs, um, one of the strategies that are well known is like a Qqq strategy with your EFTs, and that's an S&P 500 type of thing. Uh, it's better than what you're getting, in the bank. So use using the S&P 500, which is the most heard of investment, or not heard of, but it's done its thing for 60 years. You're looking at 10% every single year. They've been doing that number for a very long time, probably 40 years. Um, and that's how your money's being moved in 401ks. That's how your money's being moved in any kind of mutual or any kind of investment that you go and you ask a bank to help you with. They're going to put your money there. Depending on how aggressive you want, they're going to look at data. And if you have a 401k at work, you're going to see that that data is going to, they're going to send you that data quarterly, and they're going to show you the packages. Basically, an EFT is a package of stocks, um, and that package has a percentage that has gone up or down, and they usually will pick a group for you, and it could be in a EFTs. Even now with crypto, we're going to start seeing more of that. We're going to start seeing EFT blocks for cryptocurrency. I think they're starting with DeFi right now with DeFi cryptos. So the importance alone, um, I mean, it's critical because it compounds. So, like I used the example earlier about 1 to 3% in cryptocurrency. If you wanted to invest a block, Well, you can do that same thing with stocks, with a collection of stocks or a collection of funds. Um, and over time, again, I'm using my children as an example. One is 12, one is 15. I want to get my son, as soon as he starts working, instead of saving money, because that's 0.01%, you know, um, that doesn't look good on paper. Over time, let's say you're able to save $30,000 in life. 30,000 at 1% is peanuts. We're looking at, even if it's, let's say 3,000, it's $30. So it doesn't do anything for you. If you're looking at any kind of other investment, whether it's stocks, mutuals, anything that I mentioned, even real estate, it's going to go up. I mean, my property, um, God willing, to be paid for in 4 years. That's gone on value 5 times over from 20 years ago, 16 years ago, then it was purchased. And hopefully we'll be done in 4 years paying it off. So anything that you do outside of the bank is going to get you money. I think that should be the underline. Anything that you do outside of the bank. I mean, that sounds ridiculous that we're taught to save money. And I'm late in the game with that. I wish I would have been doing this 20 years ago. So now I'm a little bit more aggressive. We'll circulate. I guess Coach will circulate, or I think Ed handles the email. Just one strategy. I think it's called $1,000,000. A cup of coffee for $1,000,000, or $1,000,000 cup of coffee. I think it's what it's called. So these are strategies that have been done over and over and over again. There's one strategy that I want to learn that I heard of. Actually, I don't have the book around. I would grab the book. And they talk about using life insurance. Listen to this madness. I'm calling it madness because it's something like it. To me, it's like magic that I just don't understand it, but I know it works. Like I'm a fan of it, right? I'm like, I don't know what you did, but you did it. So they're taking monies from life insurance and taking loans on life insurance money. That to me is just bizarre. And it's a language that I don't speak, but people are doing this. So the same way that you can borrow on your 401k, which I'm going to do, you can borrow on your 401k and only pay 4%. But if you're borrowing on a credit card, or you're borrowing on a loan and taking a loan out, it's definitely going to be more than 4%. So if you finance a car, if you got great credit, you're going to be under the 4% mark. You're going to be 4 to 6%, maybe 8% tops. If you got great credit, you're borrowing money, right, from a financial institution to pay off your car. You're that's what you're doing. So if you take on any loan, and let's say a loan on your 401k, you're going to get a 4% loan, and you're going to pay that money back. And if you don't, it's your money. You're just going to get penalized a little bit, but it's still your money. And not to steer away too far from the $1,000,000 cup of coffee, but these are strategies that other people do. Big corporate, people, millionaires, billionaires, this is what they do all day long. And this is very new to me. So going back to just generational wealth, you have to make changes in one generation, so the other generation has a humongous head start. So we'll definitely circulate that. I want to take some key points. It's about a 15-minute video. It's worth watching, but I think it's important to get some key points, and it's also important to find out what resources you need to get involved right away. I actually have a link that I have in my social media. I could share it in the chat right now, and I think it says something like how to make your kids a millionaire or something like that. And it's again, it's taking these steps, these EFT steps, these funds, and investing $300-400 a month, or $300 a month. I think on Coach's video that he wanted to talk about was $5 a day. So let's say that's $150, and it's just to say a cup of coffee, which is really the idea of this. If you're going to spend $5 on a cup of coffee, you can spend $5 to try to be a millionaire. And that's important to understand that. And it's, again, it's not not my language. I don't even want to say our language. Definitely not my language. If somebody would have told me that 20 years ago, I probably would have listened. And so yeah, I want to highlight some of that, and I'll put something in the chat. Let me put something in the chat now. And then the other one, I can't really put it in there till I'm more familiar with it to talk more about it. But I am going to add something in the chat. If anybody has anything to add, any positions that they have with long-term investment, most of us, I've had a 401k since I was 20, but I wasn't aggressive with it. I had an IRA at 15 years old, and I cashed it out to pay back some loans, and I made a lot of stupid credit card decisions in my youth, and I killed my IRA. Let me see if I find this. Was going to ask Ed if he had any questions from emails. Has anybody tried to make any purchases, kind of like how Anna ran into a little bit of a snag? Any questions on creating any accounts or anything that we've talked about previously?
I'm here. I'm doing some calculation. I'm not sure who have any thing to say to what you just said, but kind of giving someone a chance. But in the meantime, I'm writing down some numbers that I'm just gonna run over after. Just to break down what I've done and just to put some numbers to it and just to show people how $5 a day, $25 a week, even if you skip Saturday and Sunday, you took the weekends off, $25 a day, a week can really amount to you being a millionaire. But go ahead, Hector. I'll let you know when I'm ready to jump in and just break this down. Hector, we can't hear you.
Oh, wow. I said a whole lot. Thank you.
I just looked up and see you talking because I'm here writing.
Sorry about that. So, all right, let me back up. So I have an article and I'll share with the group, and it's posted from RamseySolutions.com. I don't even know what they do, but it was a financial conversation or a blog, and it's how can I invest in my child's or grandchild's future? And basically, I even trying to backtrack on what I said. So it basically breaks down from the age of 16 that you're working as you have your working papers at 14, 15 years old, and you start actually contributing at 16 years old. And it's using roughly the same math you have, coach. So you're talking about $200 a month, right? 25 a week. Oh, that's 100. So if we do a little more and we do it in a year, we do 2,400 at 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and we stop investing. That's it. You just put the money in either a custodial IRA, or you do. And I'll send the article because I want to do this. I'm prepping for my kids, and basically you transfer this IRA over when it's time, but the math is well over $1 million, and that's just IRA investing. And there's other ways to do it. This particular article talks about UGMAs and it talks about UTMAs, UTMAs and UGMAs, and these are ways that you can actually put money away for your children. And it's one of those things that it's like it's real, it's realistic. I'm gonna put it in the post, and if you're ready, Coach, you can go ahead and talk about your numbers. And I'm just sending this article.
Not quite ready yet.
Okay.
Getting
So
some numbers.
no worries. So I mentioned Tony Robbins because Tony Robbins doesn't go the IRA route, but he talks about the S&P 500, which I mentioned earlier, and using those strategies, using EFT strategies, and not strategies, using EFTs. And one of the strategies I believe is a Qqq strategy. And basically it compounds your contributions over a 20 to 30 year period. So even now, I still have time. You know, I'm 44, so if I look at the math at 20 years, I'll be 64. If I start heavy now, doing $300-400, let's say $300 a month, if I can scrape up, let's just do $200, not to make myself crazy. If I scrape up $200 a month, I might be able to get to a quarter. And if depending on how aggressive the market is, and remember, the S&P has done well over 10% for the last, I think, 40 years. So when you compound this, it's a lot. It makes an enormous difference, you know, because it's 3% to 10%. Let's just say 10% to keep it even. It's 10%, and the next 10% is a different 10%, and the next 10% after that, it's a different 10%. It's not the same 10%. So again, a bank, there's really almost no compounding because there's no additional investing in it. So it's I'm not saying I'm against banks, but I am saying they're killing us. You know, they're using our money. We're not gaining anything from it. Oh, you know, and my favorite part, you're actually losing money. You're losing money because the rate of inflation is higher than the rate of interest that you're gaining. So if you're gaining only 1% and inflation is 2 to 3%, you're losing money. So not good. Not good at all. Yeah, let me know if you're ready because I'm looking up. I put it in the post, by the way. The article that I mentioned. And that's all on IRA. So I'm sure there are other strategies. That one just kind of opened my eyes because my son is on his way to 16. So I was like, you know what? Let me do this. When he's 16, let's make that happen. And the numbers are all possible. I was gonna look for this other article, and I'm having a little trouble finding it. I wasn't prepared to talk about that article, but we can find it.
All right. You want me to jump in?
Yeah, please. I'm looking for this article.
All right. So I'm going to use Marathon Patent, which is now Marathon Digital, as example of if you buckle down how much money you can actually make, if you buckle down and do your research when it comes to which company you want to buy into, which company you want to put $25 a week into for up to a year, for up to 1 year. We're not talking about a 5 to 10 to 15-year plan. We're talking about within a year, based off of what's happening right now, based off of the opportunities that we have on the stock market currently. We've seen what the stock market has been doing since COVID has hit us. There's major opportunities that's there, and it was there for the taking when COVID hit and they told us to stay home. And again, I'm going to use Marathon Patent. Marathon Patent was a penny stock, okay? Blockchain technology wasn't even spoken about. You know, it wasn't on everyone's radar. But then if you did your research, you would know that blockchain technology was the new technology that they were amping up. So now you do your research and you say to yourself, you know what? Marathon Patent, I'm going to put $25 a week, and believe it, a year later, Marathon Patent was $48 from a penny stock. So imagine that you're putting in $25 a week over the last year or so, and you're able to get 12,000 shares for 1 year. You know you had a $500,000 right there in 1 year. Just go figure how you work a 9 to 5, have your company invest in your future by taking money out your check, and it doesn't come up to $500,000. Now you take your life in your hand, do your own research, money, $25 a week in Marathon Patent for 1 year, which was a penny stock. Imagine having a $500,000 1 year later. That's basically what Marathon Patent did. Went from a penny stock to $48. You would have had a $500,000 if you buckled down and knew what's happening. Real funny, because it's not just Marathon Patent, so many stocks that did that. When you looked at blockchain technology, if you were able to buckle down and bought 12,000 shares of quite a few things, as a matter of fact, you didn't even have to buy. Maybe some of us had the money to just put in $5,000, $10,000, $12,000. And just by putting that in there because you believed in it one time, you would have a $500,000. You didn't even have to do it every week. You might have had some money that you said, you know what, I want to put it in Marathon Patent because I believe in this stock. Blockchain technology, what? Cryptocurrency, the dollar is doing what? No, let me jump on this. $500,000, just really, really and truly think about that. 1 year, you know how 1 year flew by? I can remember when they told us to stay home. I've never been to jail. I felt like I was there. I was like, stay home? I don't know nothing about that. I want to go work. And a couple weeks turned into a month. Then it turned into 2 months. Then it turned into 3 months. And I'm like, wow, is this how jail feels like? And then by the time I got used to it, I'm like, I blinked my eyes and it was 1 year later. I'm like, whoa, this ain't so bad. So the year kind of went by quickly. And up to now, I still can't believe that, you know, we've been dealing with COVID for all this time. It's just unreal. So just imagine if you buckle down right now, because we still have that opportunity right now to just put away $25 a week and get 12,000 shares of a penny stock. Imagine where you could be a year from now. So we might have a 5 to 10 to 15-year plan, but this can happen in 1 year. You know, so I wanted to point that out because I'm doing the math right here in front of me. I have Marathon Patent, but the difference is I didn't get to 12,000 shares. You know, in a way, I'm upset because I did my research and I have it, and I didn't get to 12,000 shares. Not only do I have marathon patent without getting to 12,000 shares, I still have a good amount of shares and I'm doing okay, but I didn't have 12,000 shares and I believed in it that much. I would have had $500,000. 12,000 shares wasn't that hard to get to for me. It really wasn't. Then I'd say another one, Canon, CAN, Canon. Same thing, bought it as a penny stock. I didn't get to 12,000 shares. I'm still doing okay with it. Riot blockchain, same thing. I didn't get to 12,000 shares. Bought it as a penny stock. Riot went the highest. It went to 70 something, I think 80 something dollars a share from a penny stock. It doubled marathon patents. So you would actually be a millionaire in just Riot technology. Look these things up on Robinhood. Check them a year later what the prices were. I'm giving you information that you can actually research on Robinhood. That these three stocks that I just told you was penny stocks. When you type in blockchain, they came up. I didn't get to 12,000 shares, but if I did, so now think about it. If I had 12,000 shares in all three, I would have $2 million right now. You save 30,000. Well, some of us can't save $30,000 for the year, but just imagine saving $10,000 per year in your bank account, like you mentioned, Hector. You don't get much for it at all. Now imagine saving that same $10,000 and leaving it in those three stocks. Just imagine that. That same thing is happening all over again. COVID has not gone away. It's still here. We're a little bit more open to doing things, but it's still here. It's going to be here for a while too, because you know what? A lot of people are slowing down the process of how fast we could get out of this. The more people take this vaccine, the quicker we can get to where we're trying to get back to. But that's not the case. So you know what that does? It gives us as investors an opportunity to invest more. They're slowing down the process for us. So that $25 a week, you can still accomplish that. So for those of us who want financial freedom and to get from under, struggle, you can do it. You can do it. I just gave it to you. I just gave you the breakdown. I'm doing it. I just don't have that number of shares to be a millionaire. But I have these stocks. Just don't have the numbers that I wanted, but I have them. I have thousands instead of 500,000 and 1 million. So it's happening all over again. And I'll say this before I turn it back over to you, Hector. I held marathon patent for at least 6 months before it started even moving. I watched that stock do nothing. Go from 80 cents to $1.20 back down to 90 cents, up to $2, back down to 150. It wasn't doing nothing much. Maybe day traders made some money on it, but I wasn't a day trader. I was holding. So you know how much money, you know how much millionaires and billionaires marathon patent done produced if you were a day trader? And which I'm holding it, if I had held it with 12,000 shares, I had $500,000. So imagine how much money has been made from this stock. I mentioned, I'm not the financial advisor, but I mentioned big digital. That's one to look out for. Do your own research. You don't have to believe in what I tell you. I'm doing it for myself. I love investing and I'm doing it for me. So don't do what I do. Do what you research and want to do because you researched it, you believed in it. I'm only sharing because sharing is caring. But I'm mentioning to you, big digital is one that I'm heavily invested in. Next stock that I'm heavily invested in is IDEX, Ideonomics. That stock was still there for the taking when I invest in Marathon Patent, Canon, and Riot Technology. FTFT is another one, Future FinTech. These stocks have yet to take off. They moved a little bit, but they haven't taken off. Those stocks are primed to take off, in my estimate. Do your own research.
Coach,
In
what was that last one? I'm sorry. Future FinTech?
Future FinTech, FTFT. Put 12, listen, $25 a week for the next year. This is not, listen, 1 year is still a good amount of time. It's still short. It's not 5 years, and it's definitely not 10. 1 year, future fintech is going to look different than it looks now. In 1 year, IDEX is going to look different than it looks now. These are penny stocks right now that I've been holding. And guess what? The mistakes that I made in Marathon Patent and Canon and Riot Technology of not getting 12,000 shares, guess what? Gave me a second chance. With FTFT and with IDEX. That's me personally. Again, not no financial advisor. I'm telling you, that's what I'm doing because sharing is caring. And we have our YouTube channel for a reason, for us to get together and make a difference in our lives. And we have a platform to be able to do it on and to share this information among ourselves and to let people know this is what we're doing and you can do your own research and get in before it's too late. And that's the end of what I have to say.
Oh, here I go. I was on mute again. Caught it.
Hmm.
So some of this research is pretty accessible. Coach mentioned, do your own research. When I was researching crypto, I listened to a lot of YouTubers, but some of these YouTubers are not investors. They're looking after their numbers. Always look at where it's been. Um, you can always see charts, 5 year charts, 10 year charts, and then you could Google. I think with Alan we were talking about like where to get data from. I love Google, and now with the phones you have Google News, so you can put up either a stock or either um, the specific stock, and it's going to go and it's going to grab a lot of information. It's going to scour the internet, comb the internet, and it's going to go through and give you a lot of information. So mentioning crypto, that's where I found like XLM, XRP, Fed, like all of these that I started to do further research. So I've heard of fintech before. I think Alan mentioned it. Coach is mentioning it again. I'm going to do my due diligence on it because it looks aggressive. The market caps are still well under. Just to give you some, I guess, some quote unquote technical analysis on it. It's under a quarter of a billion. So that means there's a lot of interest, but just not enough interest yet. You know, some of these, like the XRPs and the Cardanos and the, actually not Cardano, but the XLMs, I was looking at them when they were in the low billions, and then they just started taking off. And now they're, you know, they're up there. They're, you know, they're in the some of them are top five. You know, XRP was at the top five. So I asked just to get the ticker on that FTFT, and it's at 325. I mean, these are the ones that you do want to start investing because they are obtainable. And the thing with these smaller, under $10, you know, not that anything over that is wrong, but these have a possibility to really move. They also have a possibility to split depending on where they are, which is really important. You know, you're gonna, you know, sometimes you get a 1 to 2, sometimes you get 3. I think Nike was due for a split. Don't quote me on that. Um, Amazon has split, you know, and it made a lot of people a lot of money. That's the advantage of stocks over crypto. Just to chime on that really quickly, crypto does not split. Um, but what it does is it depending on the way it's set up, kind of like Bitcoin, they have halvings, and what halvings means is that halving rather halvings. What it means is they're going to give you half of what they used to for mining. And mining, you get paid in coin to um, to officially verify the transactions that are happening. That's really what it is. That's how you're getting what you're doing with mining. You're not really mining the coin. You're actually agreeing that that transaction happened. So you're paid in the coin. So you're not, you know, that's just the I guess the technical explanation of it is you're verifying the transactions if my memory serves me right. But yeah, this is fintech. Just going back to that really quickly, is at 324 right now. That's really attractive. It had some spikes, and it looks like it did hit um early in the year, Coach. I don't know when you got involved, but
Been
January
involved
2020.
since there was a penny,
Oh,
like
fintech,
under the dollar.
fintech.
Yes,
Why wasn't I involved?
I didn't know you then.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, before 2020, it was it did one spike at like 750, I guess, when it came out, and then it went under late 2019. It was at like 60, 70 cents. And it might have dropped a little bit under 2020. In 2020, dropped a little lower.
It
So
went it
that's
went to 11.29.
when
Uh, I would have to look at when, but according to Robinhood 52-week high, it went to 11.29. So I would have to go back to the chart to tell you exactly when it
Oh
went.
no, I got you. I wasn't sure if you were talking about the 52 in the yeah, I was you're right, 1129 in the 52-week high. Absolutely. But we're again looking at this from the outside in. I like to look at the market cap immediately. The highs and low don't always concern me, but I like to see the high, obviously, to know that it could spike. And then the question is, why did it spike? Did it spike over some news or some sort of forecast? So I'm doing my research now. I'm looking at CNN Money and checking out some of the articles and seeing what they had to say about it. So as you mentioned it, this is the third time that I've heard it mentioned, and I'm gonna do my due diligence because I like those that are accessible for me. Like I don't have $40 stock money. You know, I like to see what can I do with 500 to $1,000. You know, that's my budget in a 6 month period to say I'm gonna get aggressive on it. So fintech is a let's find out. Let me find out situation right now with fintech.
Let me jump in. Let me jump in and give a little history of what I've noticed. Canon pretty much was the same way. Mara was the same way. Riot was the same way. They spiked, then they came down, and they maintained a certain average. So fintech has been maintaining a $2 to $3 average, a 2.5 to $3 average. Okay, so this stock has been maintaining that, and that goes to tell me that people are loading up. This is a long-term investment. This is an opportunity to load up at this level. You don't know, nobody knows when this is going to jump because it's futuristic. This is about what's to come. This is the belief that we have to have when we are investing. We have to pay attention to what's to come. What is stable? This ain't going away. And if it goes away, something similar is going to come and take its place, but it ain't going away. Things like this is not going away. So if it's not this, it's going to be something on this level. That's what I pay attention to. I'm not a financial advisor, but I've seen this movie before. This ain't going away. That's how I look at it. And it's a matter of who can stomach investing without touching their money. That's basically what it boils down to. Who can stomach continuing to put away money without taking it out, without thinking they have to draw for it, without thinking that this stock has to move on their time. That's what this is. And as I said, this ain't going away. You know what else ain't going away? IDEX. You know what else ain't going away? BNGO. There's quite a few out there. The list goes on and on and on. What's happening? Ask Kathy Woods. She mentioned a lot of stocks that ain't going away. You throw everybody in the water, all of them ain't gonna drown. I promise you, some people gonna swim away. Throw 10 people in the water. What are the odds of all 10 can't swim? Throw some companies out there, put some money in all of them. This is the future. I ain't no financial advisor, but this is the future. And it's a matter of buckling down and putting some money where you don't want to touch it and waiting it out. 1 year later, 2 years later, 3 years later, I'll even say something else. I do deliveries part-time. And let me tell you, I see them electric cars building. They're building up. They're building up. Can't stop it. I see them building up. Can't stop it. And this has nothing to do with electric, but I'm just saying that. You know what else I see? I see Uber. I see Uber with their self-driving cars a couple years from now. Yeah. So it's all about patience and buckling down and investing and sticking to it. That's it. And this at $3.20. Listen, either you go buy this or you go buy Tesla. So at the end of the day, listen, even if you put some money in Tesla right now, if you put $25 a week in Tesla right now, I promise you, in a year, 2 years to 3 years to 4 years to 5 years, you're going to see a difference. Tesla not going to be where it's at right now. But Alan always says this. Why buy Tesla when I can buy the battery that's going in Tesla, whoever makes the battery? All true. Why buy Bitcoin when I could buy ADA, Cardano? All true, but I'm still going to invest in all of them. Bitcoin and Cardano. Get a lot more money from my Cardano, but I ain't going to miss the Bitcoin train either. I ain't going to miss the Tesla train, and I definitely ain't missing the fintech train. Definitely not missing that one. That one's too cheap for me to miss that. But I'm no financial advisor, just stating obvious. And as you mentioned, if this thing never move on my time, it may move on my son's grandkids' time. It is what it is. I'm in it for the long haul. I'm in it for the change. I'll even go as far as say this. The vaccine stocks right now, Moderna, Pfizer, they not gonna stay where they at right now. It's like they're making a difference in this world right now with these vaccines. Based off of what happened, the fact is Moderna and Pfizer's vaccines are giving back our lives somewhat. Do you think those stocks are going to stay the same? Do you think if you put $25 a week for the next year to 2 years to 3 years to 4 years to 5 years, that those stocks are going to stay there? And do you not think that if those stocks are doing what they're doing and making a difference right now, people are getting, the vaccine, do you think that there's not a penny stock out there right now that's not on the Moderna, that's not at the Moderna and Pfizer cost? Do you think that there's not a penny stock out there that's capitalizing right now on coming with a vaccine to make a killing? This is the world that we're living in. We got to do our research. We got to look out for what's coming, and we have to stick to our gun and put our money away in stocks that we research and believe in. It's not just about the Moderna and the Pfizer or the BioNTech. Look out for who's coming. Watch your back. Don't just look in front of you. Look behind you too. Don't just run off at the stoplight. Look 4 ways. Use your peripheral. When you take your driving test, they put mirrors on there for you to use them for a reason. Look around you. Pay attention. Do your research. Get ahead in life that way. And I'm done. Because you say you gotta leave at 10:30. You got 1 minute.
That was definitely we gotta quite often close with the patience model. These are a lot of ups and downs, and obviously this is I keep saying it's a consistent buyer's market. You know, I was very, very happy when I remember seeing my, crypto portfolio hit the 10K mark. I'm well under that right now, but I'm excited that it did that. And if we're looking at the 5 year mark, or it could be, something that, like, let's say a Cardano comes around and explodes. I'm excited that I'll be part of that as well. So, with a little bit of time, I'm not gonna say luck. That 10K, I'll get to the 100K club, and then the 100K club is the 250 club, and then hopefully that's a half a mil club. They say, I think it was, always forget his first name. His last name is Pena. Big, a very aggressive, very dirty mouth old man. Like he's just throwing f bombs everywhere. But I think he said this or something like this. Other people have said this. They say that the first million is very hard work, but the second million is inevitable. And it makes a lot of sense because when you have money, 50,000, 100,000, 150, 200,000, now you're playing with a much bigger, with bigger numbers, but the same margins. So let's keep building, let's keep cranking. I wish I had some, I got to build in some takeaway music, so we could have a little like a little news station. So definitely keep building, keep cranking, keep putting those small monies away. They will make a difference. I know they've definitely made a difference for me. And coach, I know you're holding on for dear life. Let's go.
Listen, Nectar, you said you watched your 10,000 plus come down. I've watched my 20,000 plus in Dogecoin come down, and I still ain't sold it yet. Still ain't sold it yet. And guess what? I got Dogecoin in other platforms. So that goes to show you, man. I'm long-term investing, man.
I'm considering moving. You know, we talked about positions of considering jumping ship slightly on Stella and jumping on the Cardano and Polkadot train. I really feel that Cardano and Polkadot are really going to make a big jump, especially Cardano now at 3 and change. I'm sorry, $1.30 is it's very, very well priced right now for me. So I think I might consider that, because I think the Stellar train is not going to get off the station as quickly as Cardano. And I think as Ethereum builds and people kind of, they might want another out and they want to see something that's going to make some moves, I think Cardano might be the way to go. ADA for anybody that's keeping track. But again, I'm not a financial advisor. We're here discussing cryptocurrency, stocks, and financial literacy. Coach, I will give you those banners and all that wonderful stuff so we can keep the ads roaming.
Okay. No problem, man. You get that promotion going during the week like we used to, right?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I think I had up to like late June in that folder.
It was all of May, no June.
Oh, no June. Oh, all right. July. I'll put some stuff in there for July.
Okay. Yeah, because it's always a great thing to prep people on what we're going to be speaking on Sunday.
Sounds good. Anna, thank you very much. I know you got your gamer son. If he plays Apex, if you're listening, Anna.
Yes, he do. Yes, we do.
He plays Apex?
Yes. And what's the other one, Jamar, that you play? What's the other Apex, and what's the other one next to Apex?
Next to Apex?
Yeah. What's the other one? Fortnite.
Okay, if he really plays Apex, okay, sometimes I gotta unwind and let my hair down. I'm putting the notes in the notes. I'm putting up my my call name or whatever they call that.
You mean your username?
That's my but my handle. Let's call it something fancy, not a username. I think it's called a handle. I think that's what the kids are calling it. Yeah. So just have your son watch the camera if it's not too much trouble. I want to show him something.
Okay, hold on. Jamar, take a look. See, he wants to show you something.
Okay.
I'm gonna show off a little to another gamer. Hold on. I'm gonna show him something.
Hold on, you're a gamer, Hector? No way.
So that's
no way.
Hold on a second. I'm not a gamer. I get a little busy. I get frustrated.
Oh my God.
So I play on and off. I don't stream yet. I mean, I do have a Twitch and all that stuff, but I don't have time. I'm not consistent.
Oh my God.
But
you're
so
on
if he
Twitch?
wants to play, I'm on Twitch, but it's nothing crazy. But I have a Twitch account. But if he's interested, have him ping me on Apex. That's my screen name.
Okay, I got you. I'm gonna definitely have him do it. I'm a gamer too with him too, so I'll play you too.
I play Apex only. I don't play anything else.
Not even Call of Duty?
No, it's it's just the time wise. I have demanding. I mean, look, this is my 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Right. I got 2 monitors and stuff over there, and then this is like
Jesus.
This is so it's a little demanding. So I don't have a lot of time. But it's good for the brain. You gotta like detach.
Yeah, relax. Yeah. Me too. I work at 9 to 5. I do medical billing, so I have 3 screens in front of me.
Gotcha.
So and it's all numbers. Exactly. So when I want to come home, and this is kind of our bonding time. Like,
awesome.
I don't play video games just to play video games. It's kind of like that's our thing, because he's a boy. Yeah.
Gotcha. So truth be told, I'm a tech person, right? And this is
Mhm.
my first build in over 20, almost 20 years.
Really?
So I haven't built a machine in a long time.
Hold
So I
on. You
built
can
this with my
actually
son.
build machine?
Yeah. I built this guy. This guy is that guy is that's my
Oh
guy.
my God. You have Darth Vader on top of your stuff. Are you
I
kidding
got a
me?
Darth Vader piggy bank on top.
No
Yeah, so that's
way.
my
You built that?
yeah, it's not that impressive. It's a little
What do
bit of
you mean? That
YouTube.
is out. When are you coming to Florida?
When am I?
When you
I
come to
want to go.
Florida.
I have family in Florida. I definitely want to do some things with coach as far as like basketball and photography and marketing.
Nice.
Um, I have some goals. I have family in Pembroke Pines. Um,
Oh, yeah. You're right
so
below me because I'm on Sunrise.
how how close is that to you?
It's like I'm off Pine Island and Sunrise Boulevard. Well, Sunrise and Pine Island. And Pembroke Pines, you'd be 10 minutes away from me. So
Oh, that's
it would be going
crazy.
south. Yeah, you like 10 minutes away from where I am. Because
Oh,
I'm
that's
like
nothing.
literally like 5 minutes next to the Sawgrass Mall. I don't know if you're familiar with the Sawgrass Mall.
I probably been there, but I
Yeah,
don't
because it's
know it.
like it's the major mall down here. So I'm pretty sure you've been there, probably don't even know it is. I'm
Right.
literally right there. So you're like 10 minutes if you come
And
to Pembroke Pines from where I stay.
gotcha. And coach, are you in that area as well, or you're a little north?
I'm a little north, but still in that area. I'm in the Coconut Creek area.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta make it. We gotta make it happen. But the computer was a bond with my son during the pandemic. I was dragging my feet on building something, and I've always had hand-me-down computers. Because I've been in tech for so long, so I never really had the need to buy anything or make anything powerful. And then I started doing some editing and photography, and then I needed more storage, and one thing's led to the next. I said, you know what, I'm gonna build something that I can game and do productivity stuff on. So here it is. So
That's pretty
yeah, we
awesome,
could.
Hector.
How old is your son?
He is going to be 8.
Oh wow, okay.
He's really advanced. He's
Yeah,
very
yeah,
advanced. Yeah.
yeah. I've played with some.
Little man.
There's a kid that I play with. I don't remember his screen name, but he pings me every once in a while, and he's like 7, and it's he's he just goes at it. He's a great player.
Oh my God.
He's
It's like it
7.
was born in their
Yeah,
DNA. Like the way how they just gravitate towards technology.
yeah,
Like, okay, you see how you're a computer tech? I'm a phone tech. Well, I used to work with phones, so I'm a phone tech.
gotcha.
I put it in my son's hand and he already knows how to use it. I'm like, oh my God, it's
Yeah,
like in their DNA.
it's
It's
it,
crazy.
yeah, it's a beautiful thing. I remember when my son first grabbed the mouse. It was my birthday. He was probably 2 years old, so he's 15 now. So it's 13 years ago. Doing quick math, I was 31, right? And he was on my lap, and I was exhausted. I was in my mother's house, and then my son just grabbed the mouse. He seen me do it. We were doing something on Elmo's World on a website, and he
That's so
starts to
cute.
click. I remember it. It was like it was a thing where you're doing like counting lemonades or almost like he's
Yeah.
making lemonades right in the lemonade stand.
Hmm.
And my son starts grabbing the mouse and starts clicking around. Obviously, this is way before like tablets was a big thing,
Right. Right.
but he's on the computer. And then I asked my mom, like, did you do this? Did you teach him? Because I've had him on my lap on the computer for, for weeks, months, but he just started doing it. And I'm like, holy crap. And
Oh
then since
yeah.
that, now he's 16 now, 15. He's about to be a junior in high school.
Oh
Um,
wow.
yeah, and he's doing coding now. I'm trying to not push him, but trying to direct him. He's also doing cryptocurrency. He used to run down the stairs and ask me what a market's down, and I say,
Right.
buddy, like I say, Boppy or buddy is what I call him, and I'm like, buddy, you
Hmm.
gotta do the research. You gotta figure it out. You gotta learn. But
That's good.
yeah,
I started
he's
talking to my son about like not crypto, but like stocks and stuff in Roblox, and he looks at me like, can you really invest in something? based off in Roblox and make money. And I'm like, listen, those little Roblox that they play, the game is for free. But if you really think about it, every game they play, they need gadgets and stuff, and that's how they make money.
Oh, absolutely. It's a pay per play. Yeah, absolutely.
It is.
Apex is the same.
It is.
You know,
Apex,
Apex.
yes,
I
it
don't buy
is.
anything. I bought one season something. I forgot what it was. I spent like $20. But after that, I'm like, I'm not buying anything.
It's the battle royale pass.
Yeah.
It's for different edition because they have different skins. One season they'll
exactly.
have so you're really paying for the skin,
you know
not
you
the
know
game.
this better than look at it. You know this more than I. Like I just you're
Yeah.
like it's a season pass. It's a season.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. Yeah, my daughter plays Roblox. She's 12. She plays Roblox with her friends.
Oh my, you have big babies.
Yeah, I have some big babies. Yeah, they're grown folks. They do their own laundry. They, I don't have to jump on top of them, and they're doing very well. And especially throughout this pandemic, I hope your son has done well. Having his own time and his own space, and mental health is extremely important nowadays with what we've been going through, and our kids.
So
we have to be on top of them. I didn't have I came from a single home, single parent home.
Same thing with my son. Like I'm single mom with him. Basically, I'm mommy and daddy. So yeah. So I know.
I'm definitely a product of that. What you're doing right now is, and I've had a martial arts school for. That's why I have a lot in common with Coach. He's been doing basketball for many more years than I, but I've done martial arts at a martial arts school for 6 years. So kids is, the nurturing versus nature has already been, we solved that already. The more you nurture, the better the kids are gonna, be model citizens, and it's just it's a fact.
It is.
And what you're doing with the gaming, I do the same with my son. He doesn't like to play with me too much though anymore. I get too frustrated, but I take it way too seriously. So
oh, me too. Oh,
yeah,
you should. Oh, I'm a terrible loser. I would tell anybody, and that's not the only thing we do though, because we play Uno. I don't know if you do it because you say you're Puerto Rican, right?
I'm Dominican. Yeah.
You're Dominican. All right. Yeah. So we play dominoes.
By the way, that's like calling you Trini, and I know you're Jamaican.
Okay, listen, I don't.
nothing wrong with it.
But you know what? The funny thing is, I do look like I come from Trinidad because Trinidad is mainly Indian, but I'm actually Jamaican. So
there's a lot of flavors. It's like DR. DR's got so many flavors of people. We don't have a look anymore. Anybody that I love Jamaica. I've been look at. Matter of fact, I show this every opportunity I have when I say Jamaica. There's a coaster that's always on my desk. Right?
No way.
Yeah, so I've been there about a half a dozen times. I think 5 or 6 times I've been to Jamaica, and you can't tell the difference when you go to Jamaica. Jamaica was stop number 2 on the slave Atlantic trade.
So
DR
true.
was stop number 1. So if you've been to DR and you go to Jamaica, it's exactly the same thing.
The same.
You guys have rice and peas. We call it moto. You use coconut milk. We don't. You got Johnny Cakes. We have Johnny Cakes. Just because we didn't.
Really?
Yeah, we have. When I tell people that, they're like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah,
yeah."
We call it Johnny Cake because we couldn't say Johnny Cake, but Johnny Cake is an English thing. So
what is it? Your main language is Spanish, right?
It's Spanish. Yeah, we don't have Creole like the Haitians, so we don't have a Creole.
Right, because we're broken English.
Yeah, exactly, and that's just because of we had. A lot of the histories, and this is another conversation, obviously, but a lot of the similarities are so
very, very similar.
They're so similar, and they're so interesting.
Very similar. It's so true. So, exactly. It's like kind of like we're the same people but different.
It's the same. Makes sense. It's actually the same people. The difference was the colonization. It is the same people. Totally the same people. So we had indigenous people as well. So did Jamaica, but you had English colonization. We had Spanish colonization mixed with Haitian and mixed with French and Haitian because we got our independence from Haiti. So we were a little bit. That's the big difference. But as far as the people, It's the same people. It's crazy how
It really is. It
making
really,
music,
really is.
like dancehall and reggae, like it's had the
You guys
roughly
have
the same.
reggaeton, right?
Well,
Is it reggaeton?
officially, yeah, we do reggaeton, but it's funny how reggaeton started as playero and then it became
Mm-hmm.
reggaeton, and then PR has
Mm.
really taken the flag with reggaeton. They've taken that
Yes, they
they pushed
really
it more.
have.
Yeah, they pushed it a hell of a lot
Yeah.
more,
If you
because we
listen to
have
some of
merengue and
the
bachata.
beats, see, if you
Yeah,
listen some of the beats, I promise you, like if I listen to it, I think I'm listening to Jamaican dancehall music.
it's the same. It's the same. It's literally the same influence. And it's a beautiful thing to start really going down the list of similarities. Um,
Hmm.
and then you really just start understanding just a little bit, quote unquote, black culture and black history when you start really
True.
seeing, like, wait a second, you're Dominican, that's just like Jamaica. The only difference is Spanish, and you guys had English. Our colonizers were
Yeah.
different, but the roots are the same. Especially last thing, because I was supposed to leave at 10:30. The last thing, the food. When you start breaking down the food, you really start to
Hmm.
see, wow, that's so similar. Like rice
It
and
is.
peas, with the exception of the coconut milk, it looks
Hmm.
identical to moro. Kidney beans, moro of kidney beans. You have a
Yeah.
little bit of West Indian or Indian that kind
Right.
of came in through like Guyana, through Trinity, through Jamaica. So your
Hmm.
spices are different. That's not
Right.
your fault. That's just more colonizers, right?
True.
Like, but when we look at the foods, that's when you're like, wait a second, you guys eat that too? I have a Jamaican friend, one of my favorite people in the world, right? He's Irish and Jamaican. So as you guys would say, like pale faced Jamaican, right? And
Hmm.
the first time I heard him speak patois, I was like, what the, you know, and he was having an argument, not an argument, he was talking to his mom, and his mom is Jamaican, his dad is Irish, and he just went in patois, and I was like, yo, that is crazy. And at the time, I knew how similar Jamaica was to DR. He didn't, but I knew. So the brotherhood started, I guess. We became good bros. You know. Anyway, so when you start talking patois with Coach, I'm a little jealous, just a little, because
Listen,
I don't have
if you
much.
want to learn, I'll teach you as long as you promise to teach me Spanish. I have no
Listen,
problem.
that is a perfect exchange.
Yeah.
It's a perfect exchange, and I'm assuming that the boy is also fluent in patois, right? I hope he keeps that history.
No.
Oh,
You want to know
damn.
something that is funny? Everybody in my house speaks fluent patois. He
Yeah,
don't, but he understands it. Do
yeah.
your kids speak Spanish?
They same here. They understand it. The problem was, I blame it on a little bit of the grandmas. And my connection with my wife has always been English, not Spanish. I call it, I'm not Dímelo Loco Dominican. So I'm not barbershop Dominican. So um, it's not my daily tongue. Sure, I can talk, but when I do talk, I was there in May. They know that I'm a stranger. They know that I'm not straight gringo to them, but I'm different. They know that I'm different. It's cool, but my kids understand probably about 40% of what I say. If I go slow, my son understands more than my daughter. Um,
Mhm.
but I hope to change that. I think that, yeah, I just went to DR every summer from like almost, I was born there, but from like 8 years old to 14, I was there till I started working. So I always went back. My mom, my grandma, I spoke Spanish at home. But when I started English classes, it was over for Spanish.
Oh
So
wow.
so you
I
learned a few
definitely
things
want to
about
learn.
me. So you were
Of
gonna learn.
course.
I got okay, so guaguan, right? I'm gonna give you the Dominican version. I'm gonna give you the Dominican
Wagwan.
version to guaguan. Right? The Dominican version is que lo que.
Que lo que?
Que lo que? So, or the older version was dímelo. So que lo que is kind of like what's happening. Is the literal
Oh, okay.
translation? The literal translation is what the what. So it's just kind of like,
Oh,
what's going on.
yeah.
So there's your version of guaguan.
Okay, so every time I come in, I'm gonna be like, que lo que?
Que lo que? So now they've extended it. Sometimes they'll say que lo que mani. Like mani is like, some people say it's short for manito. I don't think so. I
Mhm,
love to hear the. I don't think it is, because people started really saying that when I was saying my N. So they heard
mhm.
that, and that's the short version, of of what the culture was saying, and Dominicans were listening. So they say mani. Some people be like, no, that meant like little brother, like manito. But I'm like, no, I don't think it was. Like I like to know the origin of the context. Kind of like Johnny Cakes. When I learned that Johnny Cakes was an English thing, and I'm like, wait a second, Johnny Cake, it came from Johnny Cake, and Johnny Cake came from the English, and the English went to Jamaica, and obviously they went to DR as well. That's where we get it from. And even Dominicans don't know that. Big fun fact.
Oh wow.
And the
See?
English, and here's the thing, I know what the carton looks like. I looked it up.
Right.
It looks like an Aunt Jemima box. It's white and blue.
Yes, it is.
So
It is.
that's the history of it. And a lot of Dominicans have no idea where Johnny Cake comes from. They think that's their word, or they think it's a Taino word. I'm like, nope, you're wrong, and you're wrong. It's an English word, and it came from Jamaica. So we do oxtail. Your chicken is
Hold on,
better.
you guys cook. Hold on, you guys cook oxtail still?
Hell yeah.
Do you guys do curry goat? I know we're supposed to leave,
We
but I just
we
have to
we
ask before
do
we
we
go.
don't do curry. We don't do curry at all. But we do goat, chivo. We do goat. But
Oh,
we don't
okay.
do curry. Curry did not make it to our end. The only one thing made it to our end. We do this thing called Qqq, which came from an ambassador of like Morocco descent, and it's like a football shape, because they crush it in their hand. It looks like falafel. The outside looks like falafel, but I don't think it is. I could be wrong. And then they put meat inside it, and that is as curry as we go. It has a distinct taste, and I think it might be cumin, but not curry.
Mm.
Um,
Oh,
and that's
okay.
as like Indian as we get. And
Right.
I had to do some, I believe, an ambassador, like a Moroccan ambassador, and then it stayed with us. Fun fact: you won't find quipes in PR, Cuba, Costa Rica, or any Spanish-speaking West Indian place. Um,
Mm.
it's a real interesting thing, but foods really connect us, and I'm a foodie. I love all sorts of food, especially Jamaican food. I just had chana. You know what that is?
What's that?
So chana is chickpeas. It's Indian, but it made it to Jamaica. It's some Jamaicans know it. You may know it about. You may know say it some other name, but it's chickpeas, squash, sweet,
Mm.
and it's a chickpea type of, just a bean dip. You put it over rice or whatever, and it has a little
You
bit of,
mean I wonder if we could have something called stewed peas? Is
could
that
be,
what it may could be stew because we have like a paste, but it's called stew peas. It's but we use it with kidney beans, like red kidney beans.
got it. Yeah, this is with the
So that's
garbanzos. This is with like chickpeas, like garbanzo beans.
mm,
And it probably, again, the curry is that Indian, and that's, the whole, um Columbus was looking for spices, all of that has so much involvement in the
mm-hmm.
dishes of the West Indians, of the West Indies. um yeah, I love different foods. I eat a lot of Indian foods, so I'm big on the curry. Hell yeah, give me that
Yeah.
curry.
Me too.
So
But Hector, it was nice talking to you guys. I'm gonna tune out because I gotta go to
I
work tomorrow. But
yeah, I
it
gotta
was
jump
nice
off too.
talking to you guys.
Coach, are you shutting it down? I don't have access. We went over time. Oh, I think I do. No, I don't. I don't have access to shut it down. We started talking about food, and I think Coach just went to go get something to eat.
Of course, that good old
You're
Caribbean
on
food,
mute.
man.
Yeah,
I said I'm right here. I was just waiting for you guys.
yeah, we
You
went
guys-
from gaming to food. You know, when you want to pull me back in, start talking about food, especially Jamaican food.
Oh
yeah,
my God. Can never go wrong with some oxtail. Never.
So, thank you so much, Coach. I'll send you the ads, and let's get it cracking for next week. We'll let's get some stocks that are hot for next week, so we can start the segment with what's hot and what's not.
no. All right, no problem. We'll do that. Yes, sir.
All right, have a good one, guys, and very nice
Uh-huh.
to talk about Jamaican
You
cuisine,
too,
and
Hector.
let's get
Have
some
a good
gaming on.
evening.
All right,
Of
good
course.
night.
I'm going to send you a friend request and
Sounds
I'll
good.
let you guys. All right. I got your name.
Awesome.
All right. Have a good night, guys. Have
Hey,
work tomorrow.
before you go, Anna
Mm-hmm.
and Hector, let's not forget, I had mentioned that I wanted to do a fundraiser to raise some money for my basketball team. So
How do I get the funds to you?
No, not yet. We'll talk.
Oh, soon.
There's going
Okay.
to be
Okay.
a day that I want to do it on the YouTube. So we'll
Excellent.
Oh, okay.
So I have to speak to my team first, the parents and the team, and then I'll bring it to you guys what we talk about. I want
Sounds
to
good.
bring majority of those kids and parents on the channel on that day, on a specific day, and talk about investments and
Is this happening in July? Is it happening?
it's probably gonna have to be August, because July for me is pretty booked up and busy. So
Okay.
Me too.
it has to be August.
I'm going to Disney World.
Okay. Enjoy.
So, yeah. But
Yeah.
just let me
Sounds
know.
good.
I'll definitely be a part of it.
Yeah, it'll probably be an August even into September thing. So, because what we're going to
Okay.
do is we're going to promote a lot of it on here, and we may bring on some of those kids. I'll talk to you guys about it. It'll be nice.
Okay. Just to throw this out there, if it's September, um, depending on schedule wise, maybe I can make a trip and do some video stuff to get the promo kicked off. August, I'm in Myrtle Beach for the entire month, so it'll be really tough to get out, obviously in August. But yeah, if there's a way to get more promo out of it, I'm always big on that. Um, that's important. Even maybe get a basketball practice or something. We can talk about it just to get the more promo videos and stuff circulating to create some interest and to create some authenticity. You know, people want to see that things are like quote unquote official. They like to see that, and that really stirs the pot.
Yep, definitely.
All right,
Yep.
let's talk about it.
All right, for sure.
All right.
All right, good
Thanks,
night.
guys.
You men, have a wonderful evening. You
Good
guys
night,
have a
good
good
night.
week.
You
Have a
too,
good night.
lady Anna.
You too, Savon. Have a
Yeah.
wonderful week, Savon.
You too, lady Anna.
I will. Oh, I'm going right back to bed right now. All right. Bye, Savon.